Good evening. Scott is off tonight. I'm Sharon Alfonsi. The federal government fined General Motors $35 million today. That's the maximum allowed by law for failing to tell safety regulators about a defect that's been linked to 13 deaths and 31 crashes. GM knew about the ignition switch problem for a decade, but waited until this past February to recall more than 2.5 million vehicles. Jeff Glor has been following that story and has today's developments.
Literally, silence can kill.
Secretary of Transportation Anthony Foxx said today tragedy might have been averted.
Together, these penalties should put all automakers on notice.
In a 67-page consent order, GM admitted it broke federal law. It agreed to give the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, a written list of every safety-related issue concerning vehicles already in the fleet. And it will pay the biggest penalty NHTSA's ever imposed. Still less than 1 day of revenue for GM. Senator Ed Markey.
$35 million is too low of a fine. It's a parking ticket. We have to change the law so that the fine can be 5 times or 10 times greater than this fine is, just so a message is sent that it can never again happen.
Markey wants information on all crashes reported not just to NHTSA, but the public. Right now, that doesn't happen. GM first knew about ignition switch problems in 2001, and knew as early as 2009 it could disable airbags. Today, internal confidential documents released by the DOT show how GM trained employees to tamp down bad news. These are slides from a PowerPoint presentation given in 2008. Workers were told not to use the word defect or defective, but rather does not perform to design. And GM had judgment words that were banned, including dangerous, crippling, life-threatening, hobbling, and 65 others. They agreed to stop that as of today.
This is nothing more than damage control for them.
Laura Christian's daughter, Amber Rose, died in a Chevy Cobalt in 2006.
When I see that coaching, all I can think is GM only cares about themselves. They don't care about the safety of anybody else. They just care what the next headline's going to read, and it better be good for them.
GM still faces both criminal and civil prosecution in the courts. Today, CEO Mary Barra had this response, quote, "We have learned a great deal from this recall. We will now focus on the goal of becoming an industry safety leader. We will emerge from this situation a stronger company." Sharon?
But Jeff, Senator Markey pointed out here, $35 million doesn't seem like a lot. Why is that the maximum?
Well, right, so there was a debate about this starting in 2010. Some in Washington wanted that raised to $200 million. The industry resisted. It didn't happen. Secretary Foxx is now on the record saying it should be raised to $300 million. It remains to be seen how that debate plays out.
All right. Thanks, Jeff Glor, reporting tonight.